So tonight you guys are going to learn how to find exact distances using the Pythagorean Theorem. So before we go to that, we want to look back at investigation 1 where we actually found distances in the city of Euclid between two sets of buildings. And we did this by identifying the coordinate points of the buildings, finding the horizontal distance or the change in y between the buildings, finding the vertical distance or the change in x between the buildings, and find the total distance by adding the vertical and horizontal distances together. So here's a guided example from investigation 1. I want you to pause and do this for me. So it says find the distance between the hospital, which is at the point 2, 3, and the city hall, which is the point 0, 0. And these questions will help you. And here are the answers. So to find the distance between the hospital and the city hall, we first want to find the vertical distance, which is 3, because the difference in the y coordinates, 0 and 3, is 3. We also want to find the horizontal distance, which is 2, because the difference in the x coordinates, 0 and 2, is 2. And then we find the total distance, which is 5, by adding the sum of the distances 3 and 2, which makes 5. So the Pythagorean theorem and distance. So the old way we would do something, so before I even get to that, let's say you're the greenhouse and want to find the distance to the stadium. So how can we? Well, the old way is we found the horizontal distance, we found the vertical distance, and we add those two together. Now, if you really look at it, we're making a right triangle, and we know that triangles, the sum of the shortest side is always longer than the longest side. So our new way is to use the Pythagorean theorem. So we draw a line that represents the horizontal distance, we draw a line that represents the vertical distance, and we draw a line between the greenhouse and the stadium, and this makes a right triangle, which means we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So here's the first example. We want to find the distance between the city hall and the gas station, and these questions, 9 questions, will help you. So I want you to pause and answer these 9 questions. And here are the answers to those questions. So the first question asks what the vertical distance was, and it's 4 blocks. Now, because we drew a line that represents our vertical distance, and you count the blocks, and it's 4. And question 2, the horizontal distance is 4 blocks. Question 3 asks what the value of A is, and that's 4. Question 4 asks what the value of B is, and that's 4. Question 5 asks the value of A squared, which is equal to 4 squared, which equals 16. Question 6 asks the value of B squared, which is equal to 4 squared, which equals 16. Question 7 asks you to find the value of C squared, and to find the value of C squared, we do A squared plus B squared, which equals C squared, which is the Pythagorean theorem. So we get 4 squared plus 4 squared equals 16 plus 16, which equals 32. So C squared equals 32. And to find the value of C, we actually square root C squared. So we actually square root A squared plus B squared, which means we square root 4 squared plus 4 squared, which means we square root 16 plus 16, which means we square root 32. And there's our approximate distance, which is square root of 32 blocks. So guide example 2 is to find the distance between -3 and the distance between point -3, -4, and point 34. And these 9 questions will help you. So question 1 asks you to find the vertical distance, which is 6, because we found the difference in the x coordinates. Question 2 asks you to find the horizontal distance, which is 8, because we found the difference in the y coordinates. 3 asks you to find the value of A, which is 6. 4 asks you the value of B, which is 8. 5 asks you what A squared is, and that's 36. 6 asks you what B squared is, and that's 64. 7 asks you what C squared is, and that's 100. 8 asks you what C is, and that's 10, and the distance between the 2 points is 10 units. So here's your on your own practice. You're gonna answer these questions by yourself, and you will get the answers tomorrow in class.